strike, bases loaded, 2 out. High chop! Braves win! Last night, late inning heroics helped the Braves stay near the top in the West. Tonight, John Smoltz gets the call as he still searches for his second victory. And the Giants hope to end their road woes as they search for their 5th win away from home. Braves and Giants next on TBS. Everybody, Skip Carey welcoming you to another night of Atlanta Braves baseball. Good night, finally, on a Saturday night in Atlanta. And the Braves and Giants about to get together in the second game of their 3-game series. Braves won a thriller last night, 3-2. John Smoltz on the mound for the Braves, another right-hander, Kelly Downs for the Giants. And speaking of pitchers, a very good one. My partner, Don Sutton, is on the field with Braves pitching coach Leo Mazzone. Don?
All right, Skip, thank you very much. Well, Leo, we show you in the dugout a lot rocking the last couple of years. Last year, you seemed to rock with a concerned look. This year, you seem a little more pleased.
Well, naturally, the way our starting rotation is going, it's more of a relaxed rock, but I really don't realize when I'm doing it. It's just something I do that I've done since I was a kid. I think Adolf Hitler did it when Jesse Owens was running in the 36 Olympics, but it's just a way of relaxing for me, you know, and, you know, you zero in on the pitchers and you're concentrating so hard that I don't even realize I'm doing it.
I want to play word association with you. I'm going to drop a couple of names. You tell me what's coming to your mind. Tom Glavine.
All-star pitcher.
What has made the big difference for Tom this year?
Well, I think Tommy's upgraded the quality of all his pitches. He's going with a 2-way fastball. He's freezing guys with a 4-seam fastball on the inside part of the plate. And his changeup's been excellent. He can fade it away to the right-handed hitters. And he's added a curveball to go with his slider. So he's got 4 real good pitches going right now. His confidence is high, and we always knew the mental toughness that he had.
And a guy we're going to look at tonight, John Smoltz.
I think John Smoltz is an all-star pitcher. I think that John Smoltz has pitched well this year. A lot of people are bugging him about his 1-loss record, but he's had 6 or 7 quality starts where he's gotten us to the 7th inning with 3 runs or less, and he's going to be fine. He'll be there when we need him.
That's Leo Mazzone. Nobody invests more in his pitching staff than he does. We'll be right back with the starting lineups and tonight's game. Don Sutton, Skip Carey, welcome back to Atlanta. Braves and the Giants just about set to get underway. Let's have a look at the Giants starting lineup. Mike Felder will lead off. He'll be in left field. This change is brought about because Will Clark was stepped on last night, and he is day-to-day. Litton will go to first. Felder will go to left. Robbie Thompson is the second baseman. He'll bat second. The center fielder is Willie McGee. Kevin Bass is batting cleanup. He'll be in right field. Matt Williams moves into the 5th spot. He'll play at third. The catcher tonight is Terry Kennedy, batting in the 6th slot. Greg Litton, as we mentioned, at first base will bat 7th. The Giants shortstop, Jose Uribe. He'll hit 8th. And on the mound, a right-hander for the Giants who has experienced some arm trouble, right shoulder problem. Last year, an abbreviated year for him. That's Kelly Downs. Defensively, here's how the Braves will line up. Smith, Nixon, Justice, that'll be the outfield. Pendleton, Belliard, Treadway, and Bream will make up the infield. Mike Heath gets the start behind the plate, and John Smoltz is on the mound. John's record 1-5 is looking for better results. He has actually pitched a lot better than a 1-5 record. The 372 earned run average will show you that. Only once has he given up more than 4 runs, only twice more than 3 in those 9 starts. There you have a look at the rest of his numbers. As we said, much better than the 1-loss record indicates. The umpires for tonight's contest, here's a look at them, and here's how they'll stack up. Steve Ripley will get the call at home plate. Bill Hahn will be at first. Angel Hernandez will be at second, and Terry Tata moves down to third. That kind of sets the scene for you. There was some activity this afternoon. First in the National League, the Dodgers continue to win. They hammered the Cincinnati Reds 8 to win. Kevin Gross got his 3rd win. Norm Charlton got the loss. It was St. Louis over New York. That's 7-2. Hill the winner, Whitehurst the loser. Howard Johnson homered in a losing cause. Philadelphia, Pittsburgh are just underway. San Diego visits Houston, Montreal, and Chicago. All those later. Quickly, the American League. It was Cleveland over Milwaukee. That 5-4. Chicago now leads Oakland 3-2 as they play in the 8th inning. All the other action under the lights, New York at Baltimore, Boston at Detroit, Kansas City, Minnesota, Texas, Seattle, and Toronto goes to California. Smoltz has completed his warm-up tosses. We're just about set to get underway, and here's Skip Carey.
Okay, Don, thanks very much. Mike Felder leads it off, hitting .280, bats left against the right-hander Smoltz, who is 3-6 in his career against the Giants and 1-5 on the year, and he's due, and the fastball is high. 1 ball, no strikes. Bright sun is shining at the moment, and a big crowd is still gathering. The pitch, it's high again. He's behind 2-0. Final game of the series tomorrow afternoon. Dubuque Big Star Hot Dog team picture and card set day tomorrow. 2-1 the count.
Giants were fortunate to come up with Felder. He had .275 last year from Milwaukee, but yet got released right after spring training, and they grabbed him right away.
High fly ball, center field. Otis Nixon is there. He's got it, 1 away. No big deal about Ronnie Gant not playing tonight. They're just sitting him down for a night, and he'll doubtless be back in there tomorrow. Robbie Thompson is the batter, hitting at .241. Giants have lost 7 in a row, 11 of 13, 23 of 29. And they've won only 4 road games all year. Breaking ball is high and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Curve strike. It's 1-1. Casey Stevenson is 30 years old today. Casey, the clubhouse man here in Atlanta, great guy. Reaches the 3-0 mark. The 1-1 pitch. Drill deep left field. That ball's got a chance. That ball is gone. Thompson has his 7th homer and his 11th RBI, and he hit a rope right out of here. For Smoltz, his 7th home run ball.
And for Thompson, his 7th home run. Would you believe he has 3 more than Matt Williams? Looked like he caught it on the end of the bat, but Thompson can hit the ball out of there. As a matter of fact, the Giants sometimes wish he didn't have home run power. They'd like to see him strike out a little less.
Willie McGee is the batter. Downstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. McGee steps out as Smoltz starts his line. McGee just 10 of his last 47, but he's still hitting .309. Behind another hitter, 2-0. The cripple pitch, 2-0. Threw it right by him. I wish John would take that to heart. Here's a guy 2-0 sitting on a fastball, and he still swings and misses, so don't be cute.
And didn't try to hit the corner with it. That was belt high, inner half of the plate.
3-1, another cripple pitch. Threw it by him again on the cripple pitch. 3-2. There's a message in
that
here.
Amazing?
There's a message here someplace.
Everybody in the ballpark looking for it. It is good enough he can throw it to anybody on any count.
And then when you get ahead, then do what you want. Threw it right by him. They say foul tip, I think. Let's see. No, he's out of there. Or is he? No, it is called a foul tip. That's a little mysterious because McGee started to run toward first base. He didn't know he foul tipped it. But no argument from Heath, so it
well,
must
let's have
been.
a look at it. It sure didn't look. Did you think he got it?
Yeah, I thought he did.
Probably better from this angle.
Can't tell from that angle at all. Threw him another fastball, struck him out. 2 out. Here's Kevin Bass, who hit 2 homers last night. He has 3 on the year, 10 RBIs. He's hitting at .234, but he's 10 of his last 30. Big crowd still trying to get in the ballpark here. Curve inside. 1 ball, no strikes. There's a good breaking ball, and Bass didn't get it. It's 1-1. Two balls and a strike. The Dodgers cooled the Reds again today, 8-1. Just missed the inside corner, and lo and behold, it's 3-1 again.
Must be the 27 Yankees.
Little looper into left field, base hit. On the cripple pitch, Bass singles to left. So he's at first with 2 out, and Matt Williams will be the batter. Williams 4 out of 16 in his career against John Smoltz. Heath to the mound to talk it over with the right-hander.
Let's approach that from a positive angle. Being behind in the count, John Smoltz has too good a stuff to nibble with a curveball. I don't care if it's Kevin Bass or who it is. His stuff is too darn good to be behind in the count trying to trick guys early in the ball game. He may have the best fastball on the club. Upstairs, it is too lively for anybody to hit it out. It would be to his advantage just to defy some people to hit the ball out early in the count.
Curve misses outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
You see this many curveballs, a lot of times somebody from a dugout will yell, does the catcher have an olive between his fingers?
The 1-0 pitch. 1-1. I get the impression you would have killed to have his stuff.
Yes, I would have. I probably would have given up 700 homers instead of 500, but I sure wouldn't have walked many.
You'd have won 400 games. 2 balls and a strike. John's just got to get it all together. Harnessed.
There are 2 ways to pitch. You go out there on the offensive and assume they're not going to hit you, or you go out on the defensive assuming, oh, no, I can't throw a fastball in the strike zone. Somebody will hit it. Well, when you're pitching defensive, you're going to pitch behind in the count all the time.
Hanging curveball, fly ball, deep center. He didn't pull it, and Nixon makes the catch, and the inning is over. Giants get a run on the Thompson homer. 2 hits, they leave 1. Go to the bottom of the first. San Francisco 1. Atlanta is coming to bat.
Giants have struck first, lead it 1-0 on Thompson's home run. Braves come into bat. Here's the way they will line up. Otis Nixon will lead off and be in center field. Jeff Treadway will bat second and be at second base. The third baseman is Terry Pendleton. David Justice, who is on a tear, will be in right field and will bat cleanup. Lonnie Smith in an unusual spot for him, hitting 5th. He is in left field. Sid Bream is at first base. The catcher is Mike Heath. And continuing his string of having not missed a game, Rafael Belliard is at shortstop and batting 8th, and John Smoltz will hit 9th. Defensively, the Giants will line it up this way. Felder, McGee, and Bass in the outfield. Williams, Uribe, Thompson, and Litton make up the infield. Terry Kennedy is the catcher, and Kelly Downs is on the mound. Downs with a 1-2 record has pitched 38 innings for the Giants. Pretty good earned run average. This will be his 8th start. His last time out, he pitched a little over 7 innings, gave up 5 hits, 4 runs, walked 2, struck out 5. Andres Galarraga touched him up for a home run. That's the first one he had given up in about 70 innings. Not too many strikeouts, but then again, not too many base on balls. Right-hander with a fastball, a split finger, pretty good curveball, and a conventional change. Throws the ball over the plate.
Last year he made just 2 starts in spring training, left the second one with a bad shoulder, went on the disabled list. Dr. Jim Andrews down in Birmingham repaired, first he underwent arthroscopic surgery performed by Dr. Andrews in Birmingham to repair fraying of the rotator cuff. By the time he got back, he was just 3-2 for the year. So Nixon leads it off. He's hitting .343 as a starter this year and .324 overall.
Downs is one of those guys that 30 years old, but always seemed to be bothered about every other year by some sort of shoulder problem. He's been on the disabled list 88, 89, and 90 with an inflamed right shoulder.
Foul tip that got Terry Kennedy. His night's off to a good start, 0-1. Pal Homer Aycock of TBS underwent some minor surgery, recuperating at home. Homer, we miss you. Hope to see you out here again real soon. Homer, too, is on the disabled list. 0-1 is the count. He tries to bunt, pops it to the mound, 1 out. If he gets it over his head, he's got a hit. And by the way, on Nixon, no excuses for last night's base running blunder, but his reason, and he himself said no excuses, he was loosening up down in the tunnel, loosening up to get ready to pinch run, and just never bothered to ask anybody how many outs there were, and nobody bothered to tell him. That mistake won't happen again. Downstairs to Treadway. He's 28 of his last 81, a .346 average, but .326 overall. Two balls, no strikes.
It became pretty evident to the Giants last year that Steve Decker was a kid they could count on to catch for him.
Sharply hit right field. Base hit for Treadway. Tying run at first with 1 out.
He's been throwing a lot of split finger fastballs early in the ball game. Nixon bunted one. Looked like he tried to drop one down and away to Treadway. Jeff likes to extend, found the hole, got the first base hit. So to continue with the Decker thought, Giants had to make a decision. Do we keep as our veteran catcher Gary Carter or Terry Kennedy? Obvious choice is Kennedy because he bats left-handed and seems to do just a little bit better job of handling pitchers than does Gary Carter.
Pendleton at .337. In his last 8 games, he's hitting .615. That might be trouble. It's a foul ball by inches. It would have been a double. But Terry Tata hustled down the line and made the call right away.
And he is one that would do that. Terry Tata, one of the most respected umpires in the National League. Look at him. Tried to get out of the way of Bat Williams, and he did. Right there for a good angle, right in position to make the call. It was the right one. Looked like about 6 inches just past the line.
0-1 the count to Terry Pendleton. 16 of his last 26. A .615 average.
And even with all those base hits, he is still the best situational hitter on the Braves. If there's an out that needs to be made to advance a runner, boy, he doesn't mind doing that. He's done that a number of times and ended up getting base hits just trying to move the runner over.
Throw to first chases Treadway back. Will Clark still day-to-day out of the lineup tonight for the Giants. He chased a terrible pitch. That was the split finger. That got Kennedy again.
Boy, look at the difference in April and May. Took him a little while to heat up. Well over 400 in the month of May. And he uses all the field. I would hate to try to set up a defense against him, especially from the left side. We've seen him chalk the left field line and then jerk it inside the bag at first.
0-2 is the count. Struck him out. Pendleton argues that he foul tipped the ball and it went into the dirt, and they asked for help, and that's exactly the case. The ball did go into the dirt before it went into the glove, and that brings Roger Craig out to argue with Terry Tata, but Tata quickly explains it. Let's look.
Well, let's have another look at it. The split finger fastball. He must have a good one because you won't see Terry Pendleton take that many bad swings at it.
Well, that time it didn't look like he did.
Didn't look like he touched it at all.
0-2 is the count.
We talked last night about how hands-on Roger Craig is as a pitcher. I wonder if he's calling some of those pitches too.
Ground ball, just foul past first, so he's missed a double in each direction. Pendleton out of the batter's box again. It's still 0-2. But all he's seen has been the split finger. Downs out of Ogden, Utah. Pendleton out of the box for a moment. Now everybody's ready to go. High chop, right field, base hit. Treadway around second, races for third. He'll make it without a play, and he may have pulled that hamstring again. He came up limping as he rounded second base. He aggravated again. How seriously, I do not know. We got hamstring problems on the corners with one out.
Went back to that split finger again, but got it up just a little bit. Pendleton just hammered it in the ground. That dirt in front of home plate is pretty hard. Got the big hop and in the right field.
So here's Dave Justice, and the Braves trying to break on top. They trail 1-0. Downs looks in. Terry Kennedy the side. Justice waits. Line drive, foul down the right side. That ball was sucked. Justice 17 out of 38 with runners in scoring position. He's hitting .319 for the year.
You notice how pitchers, every pitcher has a pitch that he's best known for. It may be a fastball, maybe a curveball, maybe a slider, maybe the split finger. Only pitchers who throw the split finger throw one right after the other, especially in a situation where they're runners in scoring position. Other pitchers try to pitch to set up. Maybe a knuckler, a guy who throws a knuckleball would do it. But of the power pitches, and the split finger is one, they go to it one right after the other when they get in a jam, and they don't even bother to set it up. Justice can look for it again.
The 0-1 downstairs. That's what he got. A ball and a strike. Fans still filing in here. We're going to have a huge crowd. I know it's frustrating to the fans trying to get to the ballpark because the DOT has got this so messed up. It's really difficult, but the Atlanta police doing everything they can to make it easy for the fans to get in here. Runners on the corners, one away. It's 1-0 Giants. Pop foul back and out of play. Kennedy off with the mask, but no hope. And the fans battle for the souvenir. And now Downs will try to go for the strikeout here. Justice has fanned 28 times in 135 at bats, but he hasn't been striking out much lately.
Yeah, he's the guy you'd like to have up there, especially in the month of May with runners in scoring position. He's only hitting a cool .619. Sounds like a Little League batting average.
The stretch. Got him. Split finger. Justice out on strikes. So Downs rallies. There's his first strikeout. Now it takes a 2-out hit from Lonnie Smith.
Every pitch a split finger. Tried to get it down and in and got it in the perfect spot. They still try to pitch Justice in there. There's a small area. If you hit it, you can get him out. But there's a bigger area that if you miss in it, you don't get him out.
Lonnie at .283, 11 of his last 33. Braves lead the league in runs and RBIs, 180 and 172. Almost hit him inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Sid Bream would be next. That's right in there. 1-1. There it is again. Lonnie Smith has always hit well against the Giants. Lifetime .335 against them. The one thing about the split finger, even when you got a good one, every now and then one hangs.
And it tumbles, and usually guys don't miss it. Lonnie's fared pretty well against Kelly Downs, too. He's 4 out of 11 against him.
Throw to first. Pendleton back easily. 1-0 is our score. The Giants have the lead. Into the dirt. Good play by Kennedy. 2-1. Kennedy didn't try to catch that ball. He just made sure it didn't go to the screen. He smothered it. Jimmy Williams coaching at third. Pat Corrales at first for Atlanta. Just missed the outside corner. Another split, and it's 3-1. Bobby Cox looks on behind one of his coaches, Jim Beecham. Will they send the runner from first? No. Strike two. Boy, he's throwing it every time. Well, they'll send the runner from first now.
The way Downs has started out, his fastball is only a rumor. The only thing he's thrown other than that split finger has been a couple of pretty good sliders.
So the payoff pitch to Lanny. Line tie game. Pendleton around second. He's on his way to third. Lonnie Smith, the 2-out hit, and the Braves have tied it. He picks up Dave Justice. That's what good clubs do.
Went to the split finger 3-2. And you called it before. Got it up in the strike zone. Every now and then one hangs. And with Lonnie Smith's swing, slight in-out swing, just drove it to center field.
Still first and third. 2 out. Sid Bream is the batter, hitting .252 on the year. He's had no luck at all against Downs, just 4 out of 21. Downstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. Uribe is almost playing behind the bag at second base. Bream has all sorts of room on the left side of the infield. Kennedy, another good play, 2-0. And I imagine a hitter, when he looks at a defense like that, has to make up his mind, well, they're going to pitch me inside. There's a look at it.
There you have a look at the left side. Uribe doesn't go to his right real well, so he protects himself by standing open facing that way. But most teams will not pitch away from their defense. When they have it set up to cover that side, you can expect either inside or the other thing. Downs, being a split finger, is going to give you something off speed. The split finger pitcher, it's going to tumble. He's going to be looking for ground balls. There are more balls pulled on the ground than there are balls hit on the ground the other way.
2 balls, no strikes. The outfield plays Bream almost straight away, but the infield, a radical shift. 3-0. Will they turn him loose? I would guess that they would. There's another look at it. You can see the outfield plays him straight up. The ground ball to short is a base hit to left right now. He's swinging, but he chops it to second, and the inning is over. They turned him loose, but he bounces out. But the Braves tie the game. Got a run on 3 hits. Leave 2 after an inning. 1-1.
1-1 tie as we begin play in the second inning. This telecast is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the Atlanta National League Baseball Club and is intended solely for entertainment of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Atlanta National League Baseball Club is prohibited.
Nevertheless, Terry Kennedy leads off the second and takes the fastball inside. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-1 is our score. It's 2-0. He has been behind every hitter. Come on, Smoltz. The 2-0. High pop foul back and out of play. Richmond at Oklahoma City tonight. Richmond leads 1-0. Dan Smith for Oklahoma City. Tony Castillo for Richmond. Tony 0-4 down there, after pitching pretty well for the Braves last year. The 2-1. Fouled it back again. And the count evens at 2-2.
Kennedy has an inside-out swing. Is always a little late on the fastball. Anything off speed in the strike zone is doing him a favor.
That's fair into the right field corner. You mean like that? He's on his way to second with a double. So the go-ahead run is at second with nobody out. A single, a double, and a homer off Smoltz so far.
A lot of times a hitter is telling you something when you throw him belt-high fastballs and he fouls them straight back. And what he is telling you is that his swing is not quick enough to catch up to your fastball. If you throw him anything slower than his fastball, you're going to speed his bat up. A breaking ball right down the middle did just that for Kennedy, and that's how he hooked it inside the bag at first, and that's how you pitch against your defense.
And Greg Litton is the batter, hitting at 162. Good breaking ball. It's 0-1. Nobody out here. It's 1-1 in the second. Final game of the series tomorrow afternoon at 2:10. It'll be on Sports South. We've got auto racing for you on TBS tomorrow. And we're not televising Monday from San Diego for some reason. The pitch. Threw it right by him. What do we got on? Does anybody know? What? Braves baseball will not be aired Monday, so you can watch Jaws 2 and something called
Tentacles.
Thank you. That's fouled at home plate. That got Steve Ripley, the home plate umpire.
One more than Ninecles.
And one less than 11nicles.
This is why they want 3 weeks off and more pay and hazardous duty pay. Look at this one. Oh, that's a double shot.
They got him everywhere. He looked like a human pinball machine. 0-2 is the count to Litton. Fastball high, 1-2. What's that Tentacles movie about?
Octopi.
Shelley Winters.
This is heading in a dangerous direction.
We're going right down the porcelain facility. Here the pitch. Threw it right by him. Litton out on strikes. He was overpowered by a fastball. Second strikeout for Smoltz.
John just reached back, got a little extra, put it in a good spot. High riding fastball. Not too many people in the National League could have gotten up to that one.
Uribe is the batter. 4 out of 19 in his career against John Smoltz. Tentacles, one of those scary movies. Sort of like the one we had on last night. What was that? We watched part of that in the press room. The Tingler, yeah. Fouled it back. Kevin Gross won that game for the Dodgers today. He's now 3-4, and the people can stop booing him. If they want to boo him now, it'll be okay because he'll still be in the game in the 7th inning, and all the people in Los Angeles will be home. Breaking ball inside to Uribe. It's 1-1. Braves go to San Diego after the game tomorrow. Play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday in San Francisco. Pop. That's playable for somebody. Pendleton calls everybody off in foul territory. 2 down. And Kelly Downs, who's 0 for 13 for the year, is the batter. So Smoltz should be able to get out of this situation. Had a runner at second with no one out.
He has made his best pitches to Litton and Uribe. Maybe I ought to let him start the inning with a runner at second.
No.
Neither one of those two had a pitch to hit. Now if he can just make the same or anywhere near the same type pitches to Downs, he's out of the jam.
Steerag, fastball. 1-3-0, the line score for both teams. So our next telecast will be Tuesday night in San Diego. We'll be with you Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday on TBS. Treadway has it, and the inning is over. So Smoltz pitches out of it very nicely. 1 hit, no runs, no errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom half of the second inning. We're tied 1-1. Bottom half of the second inning rolls around, and Mike Heath will lead it off for Atlanta. Greenville leading 2-0 after an inning, playing at home to Charlotte. Napoleon Robinson working for Greenville, John Gardner for the Charlotte team. Heath got a big base hit here last night, chased a pitch out of the strike zone and drove it into right field. Fans out and left have a banner up, send Cox back to Richmond and bring back Deion. Deion Sanders isn't being punished in any way. The Braves want to give him a chance to play so that when he comes back, he'll be ready to play. And let's hope he goes down there and does a heck of a job. Strike call to Heath, 0-1. People just don't realize how little baseball Deion Sanders has played because of his fine football career. And he needs a lot of at-bats if he's going to improve. Heath batting .268, a homer and 8 RBIs. Ground ball sharply hit, but Williams gobbles it up. 1 down.
Mike Heath and Greg Olson have done a good job in the catcher spot delivering runs, but when you look at what the Braves have done all year long to get to where they are in second place, it's been a team effort. Look at this. 13 players have stolen bases. They have pinch hits from a bunch of guys. They have 5 players in this lineup tonight hitting over 300. And they have a bunch of guys with 14-plus RBIs. And I think anytime you're a ball club that is going to win, you either have to have 4 guys driving in 100 or you have to have stats like that on the team.
It's just like Justice strikes out in a big spot here in the first inning. First and third, 1 out. Lonnie Smith picks him up with a base hit. You can't expect 1 or 2 guys to do it for you night after night. Doesn't work like that. Belliard hasn't missed a game yet. He's the only Brave who has started them all. This is his 38th, and the count is 1-1. He had a couple of hits here last night, including the one to start the bottom of the 9th that provided the victory, and he lines that one to right. But look how perfectly they had him play. Ordinarily, that's a double, but they had him played right on the line, and Bass hauled it in for the second out. John Smoltz, the batter, hitting .188. No bad weather yet, and the skies are clear overhead. So it looks like we're finally going to have a decent Saturday night in Atlanta. Fastball outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Two and 0. Had a home run cut, but fouled it to the screen. 2-1. Started to go, held up high and inside, 3-1. Here the neighbors have started a petition because all those weeds in your yard. Don, is that true?
No, they haven't started it yet. They wanted to see if I'd be willing to sign it first.
He walks the pitcher with 2 out.
They blend in rather nicely. Same color, a little bit taller.
Don's only been in the house a week, and his yard is already overrun with weeds. Hard to understand. Well, here's Otis Nixon.
See, in the suburbs, we have a little bit different set of rules than folks down in Buckhead do. We like things au natural out in the Roswell area.
Oh.
Take that and run with it.
I would if I lived in Buckhead. 0-1 is the count. Nixon tried to bunt and popped to the mound his first time. Started to go, couldn't pull the trigger, and it's 0-2. Boy, he has been virtually a one-pitch pitcher. You're right, Don, as usual. The 0-2. High chop. Thompson backs up, bobbles it. He's going to have to hurry. Safe. You knew he was in trouble when he took a step backward. If he comes forward, he's got an easy play.
After he made that step backward, I'm not sure if he could have thrown out Nixon anyway after fielding it, but especially after bouncing it. Look, Nixon's already a step past. Here's the big hop off the chest. Tried to keep it in front of him, came up with it quick, but not even close.
Jeff Treadway singled to right his first time, and he's the batter here. 2 on, 2 out. It's a 1-1 ball game. That's in there. 0-1. Kelly Downs has a brother, Dave, who pitched for the Phillies in '72. So another brother acts in Major League Baseball. Split finger, fades outside. A ball and a strike.
And Kelly himself started his career with the Phillies organization. So at one time, they were in the organization at the same time.
The 1-1. Hot shot, center field, base hit. Smoltz will score. Nixon to third. Braves lead. Treadway's 11th RBI. It's 2-1 Atlanta, and Terry Pendleton will bat next.
With all that Justice and Pendleton have been doing, it's easy to overlook Jeff Treadway, but nobody has been hotter the last couple of weeks than Jeff. Drills that split finger right up the middle. John Smoltz helped himself by drawing the 2-out walk, and that's how he gets the 2-1 lead.
Pendleton singled his first time. Boy, had a great cut, but he popped a foul back. 0-1.
How many times in the last 2 years have we been on the other side of that coin where we said you can't give a good ball club 4 outs or they'll burn you? Now it's kind of changed. Braves getting 4 outs, and they're making the Giants pay for it.
Pendleton 17 of his last 27. He's 5th in the league in hitting coming into the game tonight. Downstairs with it, 1-1. A walk to the pitcher, an error, and a base hit. The walk to the pitcher, boy, when you do that, you're asking for it. Swung on, fly ball center field. That'll be easy. McGee misjudged it and now has to sail backwards to make the catch. The inning is over, but the Braves take the lead with an unearned run on 1 hit. There was 1 error and 2 left. We've played 2 innings in Atlanta, and the Braves lead the Giants 2-1.
2-1, Braves lead it. Tonight on U.S. Olympic Gold, track and field with Bruce Jenner's Semantic Classic. Two-time Olympic gold medalist Jackie Joyner-Kersee will compete, and so will Mary Slaney, making her comeback attempt. Stay tuned immediately following the game for U.S. Olympic Gold.
Mark Lemke has checked into the game to play second base. I'm sure Treadway strained that hamstring again, running the bases in the first inning. Boy, those injuries would drive you crazy. You just never really get over them. Felder flied to center his first time. He foul tips that. It's 0-1. Top of the order, Felder, Thompson, and McGee bat in the third for the Giants. He shortened a bunt, took a swifty outside. It's 1-1. Fly ball, pretty well hit, right center field. Everybody on the run, and nobody can get there. It'll go for 2. Felder is at second, and the leadoff man is on again for the Giants, and again is at second base with nobody out. Fourth hit off Smoltz.
Felder crossed up the defense. Braves had him played the other way. He got a breaking ball inside. Justice couldn't get to it. Nixon was all the way over in left center field, so he couldn't get to it. Justice did a good job of keeping that from bouncing past. Felder can run. It would have been a triple.
So Thompson, who homered his first time, is the batter. Tying run at second with nobody out. He bunts, and it's a beauty. He fields, throws, close, got him. Good play. 2-3 sacrifice, tying run at third for Willie McGee and Kevin Bass.
It looked like for a while Mike Heath and John Smoltz weren't going to be sure who was going to get that. You can't deaden a bunt much better than Thompson did. Heath, the turn, the throw, got him. It was a good sacrifice for the Giants second baseman. And speaking of second baseman, you mentioned earlier that Treadway probably hurt that hamstring a little bit. We have a replay of him running. As you see him come out of the batter's box and take off, you can see that he's not full speed here. Takes off, and there it is there. Right out of the batter's box, starts to limp.
I think he did it that first time around, going from first to third on Pendleton's hit.
Well, you can sure tell it that second at bat.
But he drove in the run that gave Atlanta the lead. The 1-0 pop foul back into the seats. And the fans battle for the souvenir. A ball and a strike. McGee, a strikeout victim his first time. Infield back for Atlanta. High and away. 2 balls, 1 strike. Pendleton plays even with a bag at third because of McGee's speed and bunting prowess. But everybody else is back, willing to concede the tying run for an out here. And this is one of those spots where you do go for a strikeout. Curve, swung, fly ball, well hit left field. Lonnie Smith back on the track. He's got it, and the run will walk home, and we've got a tie game. McGee drives in his 9th run of the year with a sacrifice fly to deep left. Mike Felder crosses the plate, and it's 2-2. Here's Bass, who singled his first time.
All the damage has been done this inning on John Smoltz's curveball. Felder got one that he hit the right center field for the double. There, McGee gets one that all he wanted to do anyway was hit it in the air, got one up, and hit it to Lonnie, and that's how the Giants get even.
Curve, a beauty right in there, 0-1. The 0-1 pitch into the dirt. It's 1-1. Jose Canseco has just hit a 2-run homer in the bottom of the 10th. And the A's beat the White Sox 5-3. 2 out, nobody on, but a run is in. Breaking ball inside. 2 balls and a strike. Three and 1. Missed with a breaking ball. He walked him. First walk of the night for John Smoltz. And that brings Matt Williams to the plate. He flied to center his first time. Leo Mazzoni not a happy camper at the moment.
That was a good conversation we had with him early in the game, and before and after we did the interview talking to Leo. Very honestly, I don't know of many other pitching coaches that get so involved in the lives of their pitchers as does Leo Mazzoni. He genuinely hurts for them to do well.
One ball, no strike. Leo was a journeyman pitcher, never made it to the major. I don't think he made it past Double-A. Some guys would be jealous. He's just the opposite. He's every pitcher's friend. Fast strike over the outside corner. Williams didn't think so. 1-1.
You're a pitcher and you say you want to be here at 2:30 to watch videos. Leo will meet you here. After the game, you want to stay late, watch videos and study things and throw. Leo will meet you here.
A ball and a strike. Threw it right by him. He's ahead 1-2. He hung a curveball and got away with one. He lived to tell the story on that thing. Ooh. That was right in his eyes. You can tell when a hitter's going bad. Williams, 10 of his last 46. If he's going good, that ball's in the blue seats.
You also may be able to tell when a pitcher's luck is changing when you get away with one like that.
Fly ball, deep right center field. Back goes Nixon. Another hanging curve at the wall. He made the catch. Fine play by Otis Nixon. Smoltz gets away with another one. But the game is tied. A run, a hit. No errors, one left. Heck of a play by Nixon. We go to the bottom of the third, all tied. David Justice leads off the bottom of the third in a 2-2 game. A lot of hits in this little darling. The Braves have 4 in the first 2 innings, and the Giants have 4 in their first 3. There have been a couple of walks in the game, an error. After tomorrow, as we mentioned, the Braves go away for a week. Then come home. Fastball high to Justice. Dale Murphy Appreciation Night. Posters of Murph will be given out by our friends at Georgia Power. That's Tuesday night, June 4th. Big crowd is expected. 2 balls, no strikes. The 2-0 pitch. High pop, short center field. Thompson going out. He's got it, 1 away. So David is 0 for 2. Here's Lonnie Smith, who drove in a run with a first inning 2-out single. Smith and Treadway have the Atlanta RBIs, both 2-out, 1-base hits. Don Sutton, Skip Carey with you from Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. Sid Bream moves on deck. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes. That was a slider. He threw a fastball to Justice, so he's gotten a little bit away from the steady diet of the split finger pitch. 2-0. High, 3-0 is the count. The old automatic makes it 3-1. 3 balls and a strike. He walked him. So Lonnie is aboard with 1 out. Second walk of the game for Kelly Downs.
There is a school of thought among pitching coaches that the split finger is good, but if you fall in love with it, just like if you fall in love with the slider, your other pitches suffer. And one of the things that could suffer for Kelly Downs is his ability to put the fastball where he wants it.
Well, you can relax now. You've been bugging me about this all night. Birmingham beat Raleigh-Durham 28-7, as I predicted in the WLAF. Only 11 turnovers in that game. Runner at first, 1 out.
That's a relief. Oh, what was the attendance at that game, Skip?
Didn't say. Some writer had a great line the first time Barcelona played London in that league. So the fur really flies when these two countries get together. Kennedy makes a good play. Count even. The Heffermans and Garguses are here from Muscle Shoals, Alabama. The Williams are here from Anderson, South Carolina. The Logsdons and Woods from West Palm. They're big fans of our friends at Mineros down here. A ball and a strike. Pitch out, nothing happening. 2-1. Jump in here anytime, Don. 2 balls, 1 strike. He's running. Low and inside. Kennedy's throw. Got in there. Kennedy now 10 out of 21 throwing out runners.
Downs takes a little while to get it to the plate, but did Lonnie get a good jump or what? Kennedy got the throw there as quickly as he could in pretty good fashion, but Lonnie is in there by a mile. Take a look at the end of it here. Lonnie, the head first slide. Throw was right there on target, but he got such a good jump. They didn't have a shot at throwing him out.
So the go-ahead run in scoring position, the 3-1. Swung, fly ball right field. He didn't get much of it. Right off the end of the bat, Bass with a catch. Lonnie bluffs, but he'll go nowhere on the arm of Kevin Bass. 2 down. It's up to Mike Heath. The Braves have had 2 run-scoring 2-out hits, and Heath will try to make it a 3rd.
There's a big crowd here tonight.
Yes,
in amongst them, all the way from Monroe, Louisiana, is Misty Looney and her brother Brad. They're going to stick around to watch Tentacles tonight, too.
Oh, good.
Oh, that's Monday, isn't it?
Well, maybe they'll stick around till Monday. You can listen to the Braves game on the radio and watch the flick. You try to read one person's name and you turn this whole place into a parking lot, son. Now they're going to put Heath on and pitch to Belliard. This will be the 3rd walk for Downs, the first intentional.
And paying particular attention to this intentional base on ball, Ruby King tunes in the Braves in Bristol, Tennessee, and Jim and Jane Clayman down in Orlando. Big Braves fans, too.
3 balls, no strikes.
I wonder if Misty Looney's a country singer.
Don't know. Belliard lined hard to right his first time. They really put a radical shift on him. The left fielder, Felder, is beyond the 385-foot sign into left center field. They just don't feel he can pull the ball at all. If he does, 2 runs will score. If he can pull the ball over the bag, it's 4-2 Atlanta.
He has a better chance of pulling against a guy like Downs, who's going to throw that split finger. A lot of times it tumbles back in on right-handers than he would against a guy who is a high fastball pitcher.
Upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. John Smoltz would be next. 2 out, trouble again. A ball and a strike. With runners in scoring position, Belliard 10 out of 27. An easy play for Willie McGee, and again they had him played perfectly. He couldn't pull it. No hits, no runs, no errors, and 2 more left. The Braves have left 6 in the first 3. We go to the 4th, all tied, 2-2. Tomorrow, a Memorial Weekend Classic. The Coca-Cola 600. This NASCAR race live from Charlotte begins at 1 o'clock Eastern Time tomorrow, right here on TBS. Everybody has to get a lot of left tires for their cars when you go around that oval. You're always leaning on the left ones. We go to the 4th inning here. It's a 2-2 game. And with the play-by-play story, his tentacles stretched and ready, here's Don Sutton.
Tentacles.
That's it. Almost.
T-E-N-T, tent. Calls, tentacles.
You got it.
Not 10 tackles, tentacles.
Do the game.
Well, there's nobody hitting yet.
Oh.
Here's Terry Kennedy.
Make something up.
We're all tied at 2. That'll be a first, huh? There you see Kennedy's numbers. Kennedy led off the 2nd with a double. Looks at the fastball upstairs. It's 1-0. John Smoltz has yet to work a 1-2-3 inning. Giants got 1 in the 1st. Thompson's homer. Foul back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Then Felder led off the 3rd with a double. Thompson sacrificed him. McGee drove him home with a sac fly. That's how the Giants got their 2. Braves picked up 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd. Smoltz 1-5, but if you heard Leo Mazzoni in our interview just prior to the game, foul back again. It's 1-2. There's no doubt in Leo's mind that John Smoltz has pitched better than a 1-5 record. And he is rocking with a brief smile on his face this year. John has given up fewer hits than innings pitched. And as Leo said, when we need him, he'll be there. Up and away, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Swings right through the breaking ball. That'll do it for Kennedy. And for Smoltz, strikeout number 3. Showed him the fastball up and away. Tried to drop the breaking ball down and away. Got it up in the strike zone, but Kennedy swung right through it. So 1 gone. And Greg Litton is the batter. Litton was strikeout victim number 2 for John Smoltz. And as we figured, Greg Litton out of the Pensacola area. A number of friends and family up visiting Atlanta for the weekend. Not off to a good start. It's there. 1 ball, 1 strike. For Litton, this is the 7th game he's got to start for the Giants, and he's played all over. 3 at second, 1 at short. He started 1 at third, 1 in left, and then started this one at first base. Popped to shallow right. Justice has a beat on it. That'll do it for Litton. 2 gone. And here's a Giant shortstop, Jose Uribe. Uribe off to a really slow start. His average now at 128. He has a homer. He has 1 RBI. Strike 1 with the fastball. He was the everyday shortstop when the Giants started. This is his 17th game that he has started at shortstop, but he's only started 5 out of the last 14. That's inside. One and one to Uribe. Good breaking ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You get a guy like this hitting 8th. John Smoltz is thinking he'd really like to get him out. Have the pitcher lead off the inning. It's almost like an automatic out. 1 and 2 to Uribe. Heath wanted it upstairs. He got it there, but would have liked it a little lower. It's 2 and 2. Breaking ball misses low. That'll run the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Inside corner, call, strike 3. A good inning for John Smoltz. Gets a pair of strikeouts. The Giants go in order. Take another look at the fastball on the inside corner to Uribe. Giants go in order. We head to the bottom of the 4th, still tied at 2.
It's time for our award-winning question of the night. This question comes from Matt Skip and Pat Eddy, who live in Marietta, Georgia. You see the question, why are pitchers usually bad hitters, especially since they have lots of upper body strength and hand-eye coordination? Well,
and what better time to ask it than with John Smoltz leading off? Well, normally pitchers don't spend very much time working on that part of their game, and they don't develop the skill, especially when they start trying to get people out for a living. Whereas batters get maybe, well, they get as much batting practice as they want. Pitchers don't continue to develop that. Oh, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Strike 1 from Kelly Downs.
And the Eddies will get an autographed picture of the Braves telecasters and their other producer, Glenn Diamond, the one who's not working tonight. Ken Noland is.
On the ground to Litton. He'll take it himself. That'll do it for Smoltz. 1 gone. I had a number of people today ask me, is there any way to get one of those pictures other than sending in a question? Because apparently in some areas it is quite a sought-after item.
Send $500 to Harry Christopher Carey Jr. 1 CNN Center, Atlanta 303. No, we're just kidding.
To the top of the order, here's Otis Nixon. Otis popped out trying to bunt. Back to Downs and was on an error.
Someday these pictures will be like that Honus Wagner baseball card.
That's my thinking. And obviously some folks in the area, too. Tries to bunt again. It's a dandy. They're not going to get him. A nice bunt. And Bill Hahn is involved in a little bit of a discussion with Kelly Downs because, well, first another look at it.
This is almost a perfect bunt, and he doesn't have to do that the way he runs. When the first baseman has to field it, well, Hahn got hung up with the second baseman, but it wouldn't have really mattered, I don't think.
I don't think they would have gotten him either, but Downs questioned him. He did get in the way. It would have made it awfully difficult to get the throw to the second baseman, Thompson. A 1-out single puts Nixon at first. He's stolen 16 out of 22. Sky to shallow right center. Out goes Thompson. He'll make the put out. No advance by Nixon. 2 gone, and Terry Pendleton's the batter. Pendleton has pushed his average all the way up to 340. 4 homers, 14 RBIs. He's 1 for 2 tonight.
Hal Galima down in the truck just brought up a good question. That would have been a good point. That would have been a good spot to let that ball drop. Get the force at second, get Nixon off base, but they didn't choose to do it.
2 runs, 5 hits for the Braves. Nixon not going. Pendleton taking all the way. No balls and 1 strike. Downs taking a lot of time. Pendleton has a 9-game hitting streak. He's only 17 for 28 during that time. Nixon not too far off. 2 weeks ago, Terry Pendleton, exactly 2 weeks ago, was hitting .243. He has raised his batting average nearly 100 points in that short time. Straightaway center. McGee is there. Pendleton got it, but not all of it. So the 1-out single is wasted. Braves lead 1 stranded. We have completed 4 in Atlanta. We're still tied at 2. We have played 4 in Atlanta. Giants and Braves all tied at 2. And John Smoltz with a 1-2-3 inning in the 4th inning set himself up to have Kelly Downs lead it off here in the 5th. Skip Carey, Don Sutton, hope you're enjoying it. Hope that your holiday weekend is off to a good start. It's a gorgeous Saturday evening here in Atlanta. Smoltz's first one misses inside. Pete Van Wieren, who has now completed his basketball travels, will come over from radio and join you at the end of this half. That's there. It's 1-1.
And if you're out driving around this weekend, wear your seatbelts. There's some odd ones out there.
Over above the Braves dugout. That'll make it 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kelly Downs. Downs is on a string of sorts too. He is 0 for 1991. 14 times up, 14 outs. Breaking ball in the dirt. It's 2-2.
Fan tried to catch that foul ball down there, missed it, and it hit him right on top of the head. He is dazed, and they're trying to get security to him right now.
I'm surprised more people don't get hurt at the ballpark.
Especially on those high pops, because there's so many arms flailing around, you really don't have a chance.
Make that 0 for 15. Down swings right through the fastball. He's gone. That's strikeout number 5 for John Smoltz. 2 in a row and 3 out of the last 4 outs. John a little bit shaky in the 1st and in the 3rd. That's when the Giants got both their runs. But finished up the 3rd with a flourish. 1-2-3 in the 4th and is off to a good start here in the 5th. Felder will lead it off. There's the fastball. Strike 1. Felder's flied to center. Doubled and scored in the 3rd. This is headed toward right. Justice, can he get it? A diving stop. No, it'll be a base hit for Felder. Justice did a good job of keeping that one in front of him.
Felder hit this very sharply, David, on the short hop. Unable to come up.
That's a good job of keeping that in front of him. If it bounces past him, Felder can run. It would have been at least a triple. He's 2 for 3 tonight. Boy, was he off to a slow start when he came in here. He had just 4 out of his last 35. Here's Thompson. He's accounted for 1 of the runs with his 7th homer of the year. Felder last year with the Milwaukee Brewers stole 27 bases. Smoltz keeping him close. He's 5 for 8 in steal attempts this year and went over the 100 mark career. That's hooked down the left field line. It'll be cut off by Lonnie Smith. His throw into Belliard. Giants will have him at second and third with one out.
John just can't stand Prosperity. Fastball made a pretty good pitch in on him, but he got the bat head out. So the Giants threaten to take the lead here, and their heart of the order comes to the plate.
First two in the batting order have 4 of the 6 runs and have scored 4 of the 6 hits and have scored both of the runs thus far. McGee is 0 for 1 officially. He drove home the Giant run in the 3rd inning with a sacrifice fly. Braves are going to keep the infield back except at the corners. Pendleton in near the bag. Bream in just a step behind the grass. They'll concede the run on anything hit to second or short. But Smoltz wants a strikeout. Fast one misses low. It's 1-0. A strikeout to Downs and a single by Felder. A double by Thompson. Have Giants at second and third.
Giants in the month of May hitting just 188 with runners in scoring position.
On the ground foul. That'll leave it at 1. One ball, 1 strike to McGee. He, like a lot of the Giants, have struggled lately. He came into the night 5 out of his last 29. Fights off the fastball. It's 1-2. It's amazing some of the streaks batters can get into. He is now 5 out of his last 30 in his last games, counting tonight. 10 of 47 in his last 12. But already this year he has 3 3-hit ball games and 11 2-hit ball games, if that isn't streaky. Line, short hop by Lemke. Did he catch it? They're going to say that he did. No advance by the base runners. Just to be sure, Lemke goes to first.
Ball was hit hard by McGee. Let's see if he caught it. No. He short hopped it. That's why I went on to first. But the runner didn't try to score anyway. Mazzoni to the mound to talk it over with Smoltz.
Well, Felder had to be sure that the ball wasn't caught, and that was a real break. Kevin Bass is scheduled to be the batter. He had a couple of home runs last night against Tom Glavine, but he really hasn't produced. He is a free agent who came over from Houston a couple years ago. Giants gave him a lot of money. But look what the Giants have done with men in scoring position. Robbie Thompson, worst of the lot, but Kevin Bass, who is coming up now with 2 outs, only 138 with runners in scoring position. John Smoltz with a chance to get out of it with no damage. Bass is 1 for 1. He is singled and he is walked. 2 for 3 last night with a pair of homers. Both of them solo shots. Nice stop by Mike Heath. First base is open. Right-hander Matt Williams, hitting less than 200, or right at 200, is up next. John Smoltz has been quite fortunate with Matt tonight. He's hung him a couple of breaking balls that he's hit to center field. 1-0 to Bass. His average at 240. Chops it on the ground. Can Lemke get it? Smoltz is going to get out of it. Nice play by Lemke. Nice pitching, John Smoltz. Giants get a pair of base runners. They leave them stranded. We played 4.5 in Atlanta, and we're still tied at 2.
We go to the bottom of the 5th in the 2-2 game. There's been a lot of this kind of action tonight. What was the answer? I guess yes. I keep waiting for some gal to just slap the devil out of some guy who asks that question. We go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. David Justice will lead it off, and here to tell you about it, over from radio, Pete Van Wieren.
Okay, thanks, Skip. Justice 0 for 2 tonight. He has struck out and popped out to second. Still at .316 for the year. 0-1 the count on Justice. He'll be followed by Lonnie Smith. A ball and a strike. Braves Richmond Farm Club leading their game tonight against Oklahoma City 3-0 after 5. Tony Castillo pitching that game, looking for his first win. He has struggled a bit down there. He's 0-4 and his ERA has been up over 5. But he's pitching well tonight. Here's the 1-1. A changeup hit high and deep to right field. Kevin Bass couldn't pick it up right away. Now he's got it though, back on the track to make the catch. Justice just missed one. And a noisy out number 1 here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Bringing up Lonnie Smith, who has singled in a run and walked. He has also stolen a base tonight. Lonnie now over 400 in his career against Kelly Downs. He's 5 for 12 against him. Takes a changeup for a strike, 0-1. That's the pitch that Downs added to his repertoire to go along with that fastball and that splitter. The 0-1. 0-2 now on Lonnie Smith. Two runs, 6 hits for the Giants. 2 runs, 5 hits for Atlanta. 1 out, base is empty in the bottom half of the 5th inning. And the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes on Lonnie. Oh, he came sidearm on that one. Didn't fool Lonnie, though. Hit it hard, but right at the left fielder, Mike Felder. He puts it away for out number 2. And that'll bring up Sid Bream. Bream 0 for 2 tonight. He's grounded out to second and fly to right. One ball, no strikes to Bream. Giants trying to snap their longest losing streak since 1985 when they lost 10 straight. They have lost 7 in a row coming into this one. Here's the 1-0 from Kelly Downs. Up the middle by Bream. It's going to get by Uribe into center field. Base hit. Half dozen hits now for Atlanta of Kelly Downs. Mike Heath will be the hitter. He is grounded out to third and walked. It is really unusual for a Giants team to be where they are on the standings. They have a record right now of 12-29. They've only finished in the basement twice in San Francisco, and since the franchise began in the National League in 1901, they've only had 6 last place finishes, 4 in New York and 2 in San Francisco. One 1-0 the count on Mike Heath. There goes the bat as the count evens up and a ball and a strike on Heath.
Well, he kept it out of the owner's box tonight. That's the good news, I guess. Boy, when he loses it, he really loses it. If Joe Torre's wife Allie is watching in St. Louis, she's probably thinking deja vu all over again.
It was Mike Heath in that Cardinal series who lost a bat. When Allie Torre got injured. Here's the 1-1. Sharply hit, but on one hop to the shortstop Uribe. They'll get the force play down at second. That'll do it for Atlanta in the 5th inning. No runs, a hit, 1 left. This game 5 innings old. We're still tied 2-2. And it is pennant night here at the ballpark. 2-2 our score. We're in the top half of the 6th inning. Matt Williams, Terry Kennedy, and Greg Litton. They're up against John Smoltz. Williams 0 for 2. He's fly to center twice. Otis Nixon robbing him of an extra base hit his last time up. A ball and no strikes. Tomorrow afternoon's game will be on Sports South in the Southeast and on the Braves radio network. Charlie Leibrandt against Bud Black in a battle between a couple of former Kansas City Royal teammates. Out of play, 1-1. We televise again on Tuesday night from San Diego. That'll be Pete Smith's next game against Adam Peterson.
It's a weird schedule this week. I think it's Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday.
Here's the 1-1 upstairs, 2-1. So we'll have just one game in that San Diego series for it, and 3 of the 4 against the Giants. Here's the 2-1 delivery. Didn't get the breaking ball. 2-2.
People should know we're not criticizing the station for that. There is a limit of 125 games that superstations can carry, and we are at 120, I think, now. 122 now.
And we've got some dates in September that are blank right now.
Which
they're kind of holding on
to
see if this Braves team stays in the race. Those will be very important games to show you. Full count now, 3-2 on Matt Williams. Sharply hit. Rafael Belliard got the glove down but couldn't come up with it. And Williams reaching to lead off the 6th inning. That ball might have hit the lip of the grass out there just as it got to his glove.
It was smoked. A fastball up and in. And I think you're right. Woohoo. They call that an error.
And kind of a groan around the crowd as the error flashes up on the scoreboard. Off the glove of Lemke, trickling into right field off Terry Kennedy's bat. Runners will wind up at 1st and 3rd. So a couple of almost plays here in the top half of the 6th inning. And the Giants are in business. 1st and 3rd and nobody out.
Another fastball, another sharply hit ball, another one just off the glove.
And another tough call for the official score.
The other one was an error. This one has to be an error too, doesn't it? No, this one's a hit. Exactly the same play.
Yep. So they're at 1st and 3rd, and Greg Litton will be the hitter.
I can't resist. I'll see you later.
There'll be trouble over at the official scorers table now. Litton is struck out, fly to right, infield in at the corners. Litton doesn't get the breaking ball. 0-1. He's at first base tonight in place of Will Clark. Out with an injured right foot. Marvin Freeman up in the Atlanta bullpen. Giants trying to break a 2-2 tie. Smoltz pitched out of a situation similar to this in the 5th inning. He had runners 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. He got out of it without a run scoring. Now it's 1st and 3rd, nobody out. And the count even at a ball and a strike on Greg Litton. Greg Olson also begins to loosen up down in the Braves bullpen, so if we do have a change made, we'll get a double switch. And Litton hit by that pitch to load the bases. So it's Litton at first, Kennedy at 2nd now, and Williams at 3rd. This was a fastball, just took off and rode right in on Litton. Hit him on the belt buckle. Jose Uribe will be the batter. The number 8 hitter, Leo Mazzoni, coming out of the Braves dugout to have a chat with John Smoltz. as Freeman continues to work in the bullpen. You've got the 8 and 9 spots coming up now, so still a possibility to get out of this inning, but it's going to take some good pitches. Uribe tonight is 0 for 2. He is fouled out and struck out. Kelly Downs, who's due up next, 0 for 2. He is grounded out and struck out. The meeting over. Mazzoni heading back toward the Braves dugout. And here we go with Litton at first, Kennedy at second, Williams at third, and nobody out. Uribe on the year, only 6 for 48. That's a 125 mark. Another note from the Braves minor league system: in Greenville after 5, Greenville leading Charlotte 4-1. Ryan Klesko, another home run for Greenville, his 6th. He is beginning to hit, and hit with power. Ball 1 high to Uribe. Now the Giants bullpen begins to stir. If Uribe doesn't get the run in, you may see a pinch hitter for Kelly Downs. Jose Segura, just called up from Phoenix. Giants, who in their 7-game losing streak have hit only 187 as a team and scored only 15 runs in those 7 games. But they have a chance to grab the lead here. Uribe takes a strike, breaking ball inside corner, 1-1. The infield in at first and third, ground ball to Bream or Pendle, and they could come home with it. If it goes to second or short, they might try for a double play around the bag at second. You can see how the San Francisco offense has tailed off. They are only 4 and 18 away from home this year. And 4 and 17 for the month of May. 2 and 1 on Uribe. Litton off first, Kennedy off second, Williams off third. Foul away, it's 2 and 2. Now this crowd, smelling a strikeout, begins to make a little noise. Now they have changed the scoring on the ball hit by Matt Williams to a base hit. Was that your doing, Skip?
Well, no, I went over and asked Mark. He was thinking about it.
Belliard will go to third, get the runner there. He had no chance to come home with it. A little dribbler off the bat of Uribe. So a 6-5 force play at third. Give Uribe an RBI, his 2nd of the year. And the Giants have taken a 3-2 lead.
He had no chance for a double play here, so he made the proper play. Now a fly ball doesn't score an insurance run for San Francisco.
So change the scoring on Matt Williams from an error on Belliard to a base hit. And it's now 3-2. Giants up with runners first and second, 1 out, and Kelly Downs the hitter. Well, if Smoltz can get out of this with only the 1 run scoring, that won't be bad either. Downs is grounded out to second, struck out. The bullpen sits down now for the Giants. Segura was throwing. They're looking for a bunt here. He showed bunt, then started to pull back, and he did go, says first base on Billy Hahn. 0-1 the count on Kelly Downs, and Smoltz got a break there.
He swung at that in self-defense.
So Smoltz ahead in the count, 0-1. Bream in on the grass at first. Pendleton about even with the bag at third. And the 0-1 pitch on the way. Downs showing bunt, took a strike, throw down to second. Belliard saved that one from sailing into center field. It's 0-2 on Kelly Downs. If he does get a bunt down, you could get that runner at third. Greg Litton at second does not possess blazing speed and is not getting a very big lead over there. right now, Smoltz has a chance for the strikeout. 0-2. A run is in here, and the Giants have grabbed the lead. Now the 0-2 pitch. Bunted foul. That's a strikeout. Half dozen Ks now for Smoltz. 2 outs in the inning. Back to the top of the order now. The pesky little hitter, Mike Felder, who has a double and a single in 3 at-bats off Smoltz tonight. Smoltz has been wild high in this inning. When he's missed, it's been up, and even some of the strikes he's gotten have been on pitches up in the strike zone.
Funny thing about him, you think he's gotten into the groove, and then he comes right back out of it again.
Breaking ball missing down and in. The count now 2-0 on Felder.
Giants 0 for 7 so far tonight with runners in scoring position. That's been the story of their month.
And tonight, of course, they try to score runs without the bats of Kevin Mitchell and Will Clark in the lineup. Here's a 2-0 pitch, and there's a fly ball pretty well hit right field. Justice going back to the warning track, reaches up and can't get it off the wall. 2 runs will score. Felder on his way to third. It's a 2-run triple for Mike Felder. He now has 4 RBIs in the year, and the Giants have taken a 3-run lead. It's 5-2. Felder now with a single, double, and triple on the night. His 4th triple of the year.
You said he was having trouble with pitchers getting up. There was a perfect example. A high fastball, and Felder jumped all over it. That may do it for Smoltz. Bobby Cox is on his way. And John's quest for his 2nd victory. Again, tonight is not the night.
So Marvin Freeman will get the call. Smoltz will leave after 5 2/3 inning of work. Trailing in the ball game by a score of 5-2. It'll be Freeman, and also Greg Olson's coming into the game to catch. He'll bat in the number 9 spot. Freeman will bat 7. The batter will be Robbie Thompson. We'll be right back. Couple of changes for Atlanta here in the pitching change. Greg Olson coming in to catch. He'll be batting in the number 9 spot in the order. And the new pitcher who will be batting 7th, right-hander Marvin Freeman. There you see the numbers on him. He is making his 9th appearance out of the Braves bullpen. Control the key with him. You see he's walked 7 in 11 1/3 innings. He has also hit 2 batters and thrown 1 wild pitch. Giants leading it now 5-2. Smoltz worked 5 2/3. He gave up 9 hits, walked 1, struck out 6. He's been charged with 5 runs to this point. And the runner at third, Mike Felder, belongs to him. And Robbie Thompson will be the batter with a home run, a sacrifice bunt, and a double tonight.
You know, Pete, if people around the country look at the Lions score tomorrow, they'll think John had good control because he walked only 1, but he really didn't, did he?
Not really. You can have bad control in the strike zone. And some of the strikes, especially here in the 6th inning that Smoltz was getting, were up, and that's always dangerous. Well, there's Robbie Thompson, who always seems to hurt the Braves in this ballpark. Taking high ball 1. We were also talking during the break about how much trouble Smoltz has with not so much the big power hitters, the big lumber on the ball club, but guys like Mike Felder, Bip Roberts of San Diego, Tony Fernandez, Robbie Thompson, a home run and a double off him tonight. Off the glove of Pendleton, trickling down the left field line. That'll get another run in as Mike Felder scores. Robbie Thompson on his way to 2nd. And that's a double, his 2nd of the night for Robbie Thompson. It is now 6-2 Giants. Thompson with his 12th RBI.
Pendleton lunges. The ball came up on him just a little bit. If he makes that play, it's a great play, and it's properly called a hit.
Giants hitters have hit the gloves of 3 of the 4 Braves infielders in this inning. 1 off Belliard's glove, 1 off Lemke's glove, and that double off Pendleton's glove. Now Willie McGee, who has struck out at a sac fly to left and lined out to 2nd. Takes a strike on one.
In fairness to Smoltz, he doesn't get many runs, and he hasn't been a lucky pitcher at all this year.
No, in fact, you look back at his starts, his first 9 starts, he had 6 quality starts in that group of 9. Only 1 win to show for it. Braves have only scored under 3 runs, 2.7 per start for Smoltz. Off a Bream's glove. Now it's every one of the 4 infielders involved in this inning having a ball hit off their glove. Throwing back to first. Got him. Heads up play by Lemke. Count the run, though. Robbie Thompson scored before the tag was made on McGee. It'll be an error on Bream. The run scores to make it 7-2. But Lemke running that ball down in shallow right, throwing back to Sid Bream, and they got McGee coming back to the bag for out number 3. But it's a big inning. 5 runs cross home for the Giants. We go to the bottom half of the 6th, 7-2 San Francisco.
Tonight on Nightflix, some people will do anything for a buck and everything for 200 million. Richard Mulligan, Cloris Leachman, and an all-star cast are on a scavenger hunt. Tonight at 11:50 Eastern on TBS Nightflix.
There's a level of service with which you're already quite familiar.
Second. They always play Belliard way around toward right. So Felder had to run a long way to run that ball down, but he got to it in good shape and held Belliard to a single.
A fastball up, and this time he got the bat head around, dropped it into left field. Any other time he tries for second here, but down by 5, you don't want to take any chance at all of getting thrown out on the bases.
On the other side of that coin in the Chicago-Detroit series, the way Chicago's played in these playoffs, it's really been kind of scary. They have been coasting in every series. Well, there's Greg Olson batting for the first time, hitting .344 for the year. Nothing in 1 the count on Olson. The runner at first is Belliard. Giants bullpen getting up again. Olson doesn't get it. He had a ball foul last night into the seats in the 9th inning that almost won the game for Atlanta. And he was saying before the game tonight that he thinks that's the furthest he's ever hit a ball. He gave it a little Carlton Fisk down that first baseline trying to coax it to stay fair, but he really got into one.
Yeah, he did crank it.
Kelly Downs ahead in the count 0-2. He claims he was hit by the pitch. Steve Ripley says, no, you weren't. Now Bobby Cox coming out of the dugout. Olson trying to talk his way on base.
Well, whatever Steve had to say satisfied Bobby. Let's look. Looked like it may have grazed him. So break for the Giants, unless Olson hits one out of here or something.
So he'll step back in there with a count of a ball and 2 strikes. 2-2. 7 runs, 10 hits for the Giants. 2 runs, 7 hits for Atlanta. Each club has made 1 error. Gave you a wrong batting average on Olson a moment ago. He's at .323. That's Jose Segura again up in the Giants pen. And there's a line drive right to the shortstop Uribe. Belliard scampering back to first. 1 gone in the bottom of the 6th.
This ball is really scorched, but Uribe didn't have to move.
Back to the top of the order now, Otis Nixon, who has tried to bunt his way on twice tonight. He's been successful once. A bunt single in the 4th inning. Back in the 1st inning, he popped it up to the pitcher. He reached on an error by Robbie Thompson in the 2nd. Toward short again. The old Adam ball to Uribe working for Kelly Downs here in the 6th inning.
Sort of get the feeling it may not be your night, some of the things that have happened here. The ball's off every infielder's glove. The liners right at him. The hit batsman that wasn't granted. But you got to keep battling and try to fight your way out of it.
Balls hitting off the gloves of 4 different infielders in the same inning, which happened in the top of this inning when the Giants scored 5 to break the 2-2 tie. Here's Lemke. He popped out his first time.
Looked like we were playing highlight out there.
Strike in the outside corner, 0-1. One ball, one strike on Lemke. Jeff Treadway started the game at second. It looked like in the first inning when he was going from first to third on the base hit by Terry Pendleton, that hamstring began to bother him again. He did stay around for another inning, got a run scoring hit in the second, but then had to leave. And Lemke took over at second. Here's the 1-1. Left center field. Felder and McGee both coming over. It'll be the left fielder, Mike Felder, and that'll do it for Atlanta in the 6th. The leadoff single comes to nothing. We've completed 6 in Atlanta. It's the Giants 7 and the Braves 2.
Well, friends, it's time once again for our Safeguard Safe at Second feature on United Deals with the Giants' all-time stolen base leaders. This is the San Francisco Giants. And there they are. This just is in San Francisco, right? I imagine Mays is the all-time leader. Maybe that'll be tomorrow's. Well, no, it won't because we don't have a game. But we'll find out as we go along. And here again is Pete.
Kevin Bass leading off the 7th inning. He has singled, walked, and grounded out to second. Giants leading at 7-2. The first time they have scored as many as 7 runs in a game in 14 games. Out toward short. Belliard can't reach this one. It has been a night of almost plays for Atlanta infielders. And Bass has his 4th hit of the series.
It's hit him where they ain't time for the Giants. This one just eludes the reach of Belliard. It scored a hit.
And that's 11 hits now for the Giants. The 2nd hit off Freeman. Matt Williams will be the batter. He got that 5-run 6th that started with an infield hit off Belliard's glove. He's also flied to center twice. Inside corner for a strike, 0-1. Dodgers won their game today, so the Braves need to rebound in this one if they want to stay a game and a half out. Cincinnati has now fallen 3.5 back. Good fastball from Freeman. 0-2 the count on Matt Williams. There's your runner at first, Kevin Bass. And the 2-strike pitch is popped foul. Back out of play. Still 0-2. Williams, who had that big year last year, leading the league in RBIs, hitting .277. Hit only .202 the year before with 18 home runs after his call-up from Phoenix. Which is the real Matt Williams? He reminds me a little bit of a guy the Giants used to have who's playing over in the American League now, Rob Deere. Deere always a power threat, but you never knew whether he was going to hit 280 or 180. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Left side. Pendleton can't get to that one. Again, just through the hole between Pendleton and Belliard. And runners are now at first and second with nobody out. Matt Williams with the 2nd hit of the night. And that's 12 hits in the game now for the Giants. 3 off Freeman. Terry Kennedy will be the batter. He has doubled, struck out, and singled. The Giants' bats coming to life tonight. The team hitting only 187 during the 7-game losing streak they've been in. But 12 hits on the board for San Francisco tonight.
Out toward second, might be able to turn this one over to Belliard. One on to first. Nicely done by Rafael Belliard. He had to elude Matt Williams, who was coming in hard, dislodging the bag at second. But Belliard did that little stutter step over the bag and still was able to get rid of the ball in a hurry. Watch Williams going into Belliard here. Fancy footwork by Rafael to complete the 4-6-3 double play. Moving over to third, Kevin Bass. And the batter is Greg Litton, who was struck out, fly to right, and was hit by a pitch. Didn't get the breaking ball. 0-1. Litton in at first base tonight. Will Clark hasn't played, missing his first game of the year. Well, that foot injury suffered last night when Lonnie Smith stepped on his right foot during a pickoff play. It's only the 25th game in 5 years that Clark has missed. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the 1-1. Out toward second again. Lemke toward the bag. Nice play on to first in time to get Litton. So Freeman got out of it. A couple of hits back-to-back to open the inning. But the Braves turn one, then get Litton on a ground ball to end it. The runner is stranded at third. We go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. There's your score as we move to the bottom of the 7th. Penalyn Justice and Lonnie Smith do up against Kelly Downs. On a night when maybe the biggest crowd of the year would like to see the Braves get something going here. Crowds have been terrific this year.
The guy right down below us, he's got an Otis Nixon jersey on with a tie and a Richard Nixon face. He's coming up the aisle right in front of him. He's wearing a shirt and tie and Bermuda shorts. There he is. Anyway, Richard.
Wish he'd turn around so you can see the back of the shirt. He's got Nixon and number 1 on there. Well, it takes all kinds to make the world operate the way it does. And Terry Pentalyn's going to lead things off here in the bottom. There he is. Got one of Ernie's old ties, too, doesn't he?
You'll see him tomorrow.
I know, and I'll pay for that. Here's Terry Pentalyn, 1 for 3, single in the first inning. Now it's a 9-game hitting streak.
Probably the one he wore in the breakers down in spring training.
Well, I had one of those, too, that night. High in the air to center field, McGee. Had to wait a long while for it, but he got it. 1 gone. And David Justice will step in, 0 for 3 tonight. Jeff Parrott up now, the Atlanta Pen. Pitcher's spot due up 5th in this inning. Kelly Downs has not really overpowered the Braves. He's had base runners in every inning except this one so far. But he's given up just the 2 runs early. One of those runs was unearned. And he's been able to pitch around the base runners for most of the night. Ball 1, low and inside. Braves have left 9 men on base over the first 6 innings. One ball, 1 strike on David Justice. It was a 2-2 game going to the 6th when the Giants broke through for 5. And it's now 2-1. This game's so unpredictable. You look at a Giant lineup without Will Clark and Kevin Mitchell. You wouldn't think a team that's been having trouble scoring with them in the lineup would be able to do anything without them. But look what they've done. 3-1 the count. Good crowd tonight. 37,306. Largest home crowd of the year. 37,306 paid. We would have had a couple of bigger crowds opening night and last Saturday when we got rained out both times. Ball 4 to Justice. He's a base runner. That maintains the Braves getting at least one base runner per inning. That's the 4th walk issued by Kelly Downs. And Lonnie Smith will step in. He has singled, walked, and flied out. His single drove in a run in the first inning. This crowd tonight brings the Braves season total up to 392,000 already. And another good turnout expected tomorrow afternoon. 2:10 game time. Charlie Lebrand against Bud Black. A ball and no strikes on Lonnie Smith. Tomorrow is Team Picture and Card Set Day, sponsored by the Buick and Big Star. First 12,000 kids 14 and under get a team picture and a card set. Also tomorrow, the autograph booths will be operating again. They go from 12:15 to 12:45. At gate P, Ned Yost and Otis Nixon. At gate S, Mike Heath and Pat Corrales. At gate L, Marvin Freeman and Mark Lemke. That's from 12:15 to 12:45. And the players have their own cards that they'll sign and give to you. Kelly Downs getting a little wild here in the 7th inning. He's already walked one. He's 3-0 now at Lonnie Smith. Terry Kennedy out to the mound. Richmond now leads Oklahoma City 7-0 behind Tony Castillo there in the 7th. We'll have a look at all the major league scores in the top half of the 8th inning during our Delta scoreboard. Norm Sherry with that authoritative walk of his heading out to the mound. Segura up for the 3rd time. Jose Segura. This is one of those stalling tactics to give Segura time. And now Sherry leaves. Norm was the catcher that was given a lot of the credit for turning Sandy Koufax's career around. He's the guy that suggested to Koufax not to try to throw the ball as hard as you can every time. Just take a little something off your fastball. All of a sudden, Koufax could throw that fastball for strikes. And he had that great breaking ball to go along with it. And Norm's brother Larry Sherry, a big Dodger hero in the '59 World Series. Ball 4 to Lonnie Smith. Walk number 5 issued by Kelly Downs. They're at 1st and 2nd now with only 1 out for Sid Bream. So the Braves trying to do some damage here in the bottom of the 7th. They trail by 5. Bream tonight 1 for 3 at a single in the 5th inning. He's also flied out and grounded out. Roger Craig's going to make a couple of changes now as he heads out of the Giants dugout. This will be it for Kelly Downs. Greg Litton is going to come off the field, and Dave Anderson is going to take over at first base. Maybe the first time in his career that he's played that position. He is normally a shortstop who can also fill in at 2nd and 3rd. Here comes Jose Segura in from the Giants bullpen. And Kelly Downs will leave after working 6 1/3 innings. He has allowed 7 hits, 2 runs, 1 of them earned. The runners at 1st and 2nd belong to him. He walked 5 and struck out only 1. We'll be back. Braves have runners 1st and 2nd with 1 gone here in the 7th inning. It's 7-2 Giants. The batter will be Sid Bream facing Jose Segura. Dave Anderson, the new first baseman, he'll bat in the number 9 spot in the order, and Segura will bat 7th in Greg Litton's spot. Segura from the Dominican Republic, 5'11", 180. He's 28 years old. Started out in the Philadelphia Phillies organization, then went to the Blue Jays chain for a while, then over to the White Sox. He pitched briefly with the White Sox in '88 and '89. Last year at Vancouver in 40 games, had a 1-3 record. And he was signed as a minor league free agent. Been pitching since 1981, so he's been around a while, has limited major league experience. This is only his 3rd game with the Giants. There are your runners, Lonnie Smith and David Justice. And Segura going to work now on Sid Bream. Missing high with a fastball, ball one. Two and 0, the count on Bream. Danny Heap has moved on deck to bat for Marvin Freeman. The 2-0 pitch on the way. Ball 3 low. One more bad one. They'd be loaded for Danny Heap. And this crowd is ready. 37,306 paid. Norm Sherry is going to call 9-1-1 again. Here's the 3-0 pitch. There's a strike, 3-1. Francisco Olivares will now begin to loosen up for the Giants. Here's the 3-1 to Bream. Strike 2 call. He was taking all the way. Now it's full, 3-2. Now Juan Berenger joins Jeff Parrott in the Atlanta bullpen in case the Braves get back in this inning. We'll see if the runners take off in this spot. One out. And the 3-2 to Bream. He rips one toward second by Robbie Thompson. Base hit center field. Justice around third. He'll score. On his way to third, Lonnie Smith. It's 7-3. Bream driving in his 23rd run of the year.
Here it is again. For a moment, I thought Thompson was going to make this play. The ball was wickedly hit. Just handcuffed him. So one just misses the glove of a San Francisco player for a change.
Now Danny Heap will pinch hit for Marvin Freeman. Heap's done a good job since the Braves acquired him from the White Sox organization. He's 3 out of 6 coming off the bench. Has driven in a run. First and third, still only 1 out. 7-3 is our score. He takes a strike inside corner, 0-1. Jeff Blauser has moved out on deck to bat for Belliard. Breaking ball inside evens the count on Heap. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's Trevor Wilson, the lefty, who has joined Francisco Olivares in the Giants bullpen. Wilson's been starting for him lately. One ball, 2 strikes. You saw that note on the Giants bullpen. Their pitching staff as a whole on the road has been atrocious. An ERA away from Candlestick Park at 5.54. At home, it's been pretty good, 3.12. There's Juan Berenger, the general, joining Jeff Parrott in the Atlanta pen. And a 1-2 pitch on the way now to Danny Heap. It gets by. Racing for home is Lonnie Smith. The throw is safe. Down to second goes Sid Bream. It's 7-4.
The Giants are trying to give this one back. That'll be a wild pitch in this inning. 2 walks, a wild pitch. They're playing right into our hands.
That closes the book on Kelly Downs. Charge him with 4 runs, 3 of them earned. Ripley trying to settle down his reliever, Jose Segura. Count is 2-2 on Danny Heap. Sid Bream down at second now, still only one out. Braves have cut a 5-run lead to 3. Now the 2-2 pitch on the way, low again, full count 3-2 on Danny Heap. Steve Ripley trying to get this game moving at a faster clip. Shortstop Jose Uribe came in to say something to Segura. Ripley went out in front of the plate, clapped his hands, and said, "Let's go." Here's the 3-2. Ground ball, base hit right field. Bream will get the green light around third. There'll be no throw. It's a 2-run lead, 7-5. As Danny Heap is now 4 for 7 as a Braves pinch hitter. That's his second RBI. Now Jeff Blauser will bat for Belliard. And here comes Roger Craig. This will be the end of the night for Segura. So he works no parts of an inning, faces 2 hitters, gives up 2 hits and 1 run to this point. The runner at first, Danny Heap, belongs to him. As the Braves have cut a 7-2 lead down to 7-5. And he's going to his right-hander, Francisco Olivares, to pitch to Jeff Blauser. We'll be right back. You look at a dejected Jose Segura, his first bad outing since his call-up from Phoenix. He had gone 5 scoreless innings in 2 previous relief efforts, but he gives up back-to-back singles, each driving in a run, also throws a wild pitch. And turns the game over to Francisco Olivares, who is making his 12th appearance. He has a good earned run average, 2.29. He's the guy that was signed by the Giants, or acquired by the Giants in a trade last year from the Minnesota Twins organization. Al Rosen went down to look at his AAA farm club in Phoenix, trying to figure out who, if any, on that pitching staff was ready to be promoted to the major leagues. He didn't find anybody on Phoenix, but a guy with Portland pitched so well against Phoenix that he made a trade to acquire Olivares and brought him up. He's 28 years old, out of Puerto Rico. Now they've got 2 of their starting pitchers in the bullpen, Don Robinson and Trevor Wilson. Giants really desperate to win one. They've lost 7 straight. Here's Blauser batting for Belliard. He's the potential tying run. He's hitting. There's the bullpen. Robinson on the left side. Danny Heap is chased back. Blauser at 246, a homer, 8 RBIs. As a pinch hitter, he's 2 out of 8. Still only 1 out in the inning. 7-5 Giants. Olivares missing with a breaking ball. He throws a lot of breaking balls. It's a slider that he throws. He also has a split finger pitch that he worked on late last year. But it's primarily sliders. The 1-0. Another one missing low again. 2-0. There have been 2 walks and a wild pitch already in this inning. As a big Giant lead is slipping away. Greg Olson on deck. Here's the 2-0. High and outside. 3-0. If Roger Craig's hair wasn't already gray, it'd be turning that way tonight.
I don't care how long you're around, all that losing really eats at you. You can see it in his face.
Now the 3-0 pitch on the way. There's a strike to Blauser. 3-1. Time called as Blauser steps out. And the 3-1 on the way. Strike 2 call. Got the fastball over the inside corner. It's full now. 3-2 on Blauser. Really kind of a desperation move on Rogers' part, putting those 2 starting pitchers out in the bullpen. Shows you how little faith he has in some of the people who've been performing out of that pen at this stage of the game. Trevor Wilson just started 2 nights ago. Don Robinson 3 nights ago. Runner going on the 3-2, and Blauser fouls it back. Still 3-2. Olivares ready for another 3-2 pitch to Jeff Blauser. The runner again goes. Strike 3 call. Throw down to second base. Got him. Double play. A call, 3rd strike. And then Heap caught stealing 2-4 to end the inning. The Braves will settle for the 3 runs they had already scored. And at the end of 7, it's now 7-5 Giants. Here's a look at our Delta scoreboard. Dodgers beat the Reds again this afternoon, big again. They won 11-3 last night. They won 8-1 today. Kevin Gross got the win. Cardinals beat the Mets 7-2 behind Ken Hill. Howard Johnson, a Mets home run. Tonight they're in the 10th inning in Pittsburgh. Phillies and Pirates tied at 2. San Diego at Houston tied up 1-1 going to the bottom of the 7th. Fred McGriff now has the sole lead in National League home runs. He hit his 11th tonight. Still raining in Chicago, where the Expos and Cubs are trying to play. In the American League, Cleveland scored in the 9th inning to beat Milwaukee 5-4. Jose Canseco, a 2-run homer in the bottom of the 10th. Oakland beat Chicago for the 2nd straight night. Baltimore leading New York 3-1. Cal Ripken Jr., a home run for Baltimore, his 11th. Detroit has a 3-2 lead over Boston. They're in the 6th inning. Rob Deere is homer tonight for the Tigers. Minnesota's taken a 2-0 lead behind Mark Guthrie over Kansas City. That game going to the 7th. Texas at Seattle. Toronto at California a little later. And for complete scores and highlights, CNN Sports tonight, 11:30 Eastern. Vince Cellini and Dan Hicks will be your hosts tonight. Jeff Blauser stays in at short for Atlanta. We go to the 8th inning. Giants up by 2. Here's Skip.
Okay, Pete, thank you very much. Uribe will lead it off. He's 0 for 3. He's driven in a run. Juan Berenguer, the Atlanta pitcher. And his job is clear. Hold them right where they are and hope his teammates can rally. Here we go. Breaking ball, down and in, 1 ball, no strikes. Uribe showed bunt, but laid off the pitch. Two balls, no strikes. Nobody on, nobody out, top of the 8th. Giants lead it 7-5. 2-1. Dave Anderson waits on deck. High chop, that might be trouble. Lemke in, good play, got him. Uribe is thrown out, 1 down. Dave Anderson, the batter, he missed last night's game here. He went back to his home in Lake Mary, Florida, to be with his son, who was undergoing minor surgery. That's Ryan David, and since Dave's back, I'm sure he's doing well, and we're glad to hear that. He's hitting .292. He's a former Dodger. Was an All-America at Memphis State as a junior. Fouled a breaking ball back. He's in the hole 0-2. He was the heir apparent over in Los Angeles year after year and never really grabbed the job and made it his.
Well, he came up backing up Bill Russell. When Russell left, they thought he was going to be the guy, but he never turned out to be.
High pop foul back this way, but down below in the seats. Still 0-2. He's had some back problems that have certainly made it difficult for him to perform as he wanted to. Berenguer dropped down sidearm that time, but he missed. A ball and 2 strikes. 7-5 is our score. The Giants lead. Fly ball right field. Justice had him played perfectly. 2 out. And there's danger here. Mike Felder is the batter. What a night he's had. He flied to center in the first, doubled and scored in the third, singled in the fifth, tripled home 2 in the sixth.
Second time this week, the Braves have had a guy 3/4 of the way to the cycle. Tony Gwynn had a single, double, triple earlier in the week against Atlanta.
Down low, 1 ball, no strikes. Looks like the Stanley Cup winner is going to be the Penguins. They need to lead Minnesota 5-0 with 5 minutes left in the second period. Little pop, short left field. Everybody chases it. Blauser, good running catch. No hits, no runs, no errors, nobody left. We go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Giants lead it 7-5.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Safeguard Deodorant Soap and by Builders Square.
Greg Olson leads off the Atlanta half of the 8th inning. He lined to short on his only plate appearance. It's 7-5 Giants. Braves trying to come back. They trailed 7-2. Got 3 in the 7th. Francisco Olivares on the mound. And he deals high. 1 ball, no strikes.
They've got those 2 starting pitchers up in the bullpen again, Don Robinson and Trevor Wilson.
Lazy fly, short center field. Tain't funny. McGee, 1 out.
I want to remind you right after our game tonight on U.S. Olympic Gold, a track and field meet, the Bruce Jenner Symantec Classic. 2-time Olympic gold medalist Jackie Joyner-Kersee will compete. So will Mary Slaney, making yet another comeback attempt. Stay tuned tonight following the game for U.S. Olympic Gold.
Otis Nixon's the batter. Maybe she should try swimming and Mark Spitz should run. Probably not. 1 ball, no strikes. Line. There's a base hit, tying run at the plate. How many will he get? There's 1. There's 2, and he might have had 3, but he played it safe. Tying run to the plate.
He got a fastball up in the strike zone, just swatted at it, and with his blazing speed, there are a lot of base runners in this league that still would have been held to a single on this ball because it didn't get between the outfielders. Mike Felder got over to it, or I should say Kevin Bass got over to it in pretty good shape.
You're right. Some guys would have had a single. I think he could have stretched that into a triple.
He might have had the Braves been up by a couple of runs.
Lemke stands in there. He's 0 for 2. He replaced Jeff Treadway, who had to leave the game after the second inning, re-aggravating that hamstring. Hot shot up the middle, base hit. Nixon will score. It's a 1-run game. Lemke drives in his 5th run of the year. It's 7-6. And this crowd is getting hysterical in Atlanta. Listen to it.
couple of innings ago, it was very quiet here. The Giants had a 7-2 lead, and the Braves have been pinging away here. Down by only a run now, and Lemke aboard, and Roger Craig is going to make another move, it appears. He is on his way out of the Giants dugout.
And he's already made his move. He's pointed down to the bullpen. And it's Trevor Wilson who will get the call. They'll double switch, and we'll sort it all out for you when we come back right after this. Mike Kingery into the game to play left field. He'll bat 7th, and Trevor Wilson is on to pitch, and he will be the leadoff man. Wilson 0-4, a 4.63 earned run average. This is his 17th appearance. He has started 3 games.
His last 2 appearances have been starts.
The league is hitting .240 against him, and the hot-hitting Terry Pendleton will be the first batter. Tying runners at first.
I was looking at the Giants' schedule to see if they had an off day scheduled for Monday. Maybe that would be one of the reasons why these starting pitchers were working out of the bullpen, but that's not the case. It just does show you one thing, though, that Roger Craig has been trying people like Jeff Brantley and Scott Garrelts and Mike Lacoste. He's still got Dave Righetti out there, too. But in this situation, he doesn't have any confidence in. He's going to save Righetti, obviously, for the closer role.
And they can't get the donut off Pendleton's bat. That's what all this is about.
But it's really a move of desperation when your team is not winning, and you take a guy out of your rotation on the day that he would normally throw on the side and bring him into a game in this spot.
Pendleton will turn around, hit right-handed, and that's not bad news. He's hitting .379 from that side.
You remember, Skip, back in the 40s and 50s growing up, a lot of major league clubs used to do this with their starting pitchers. On the day in between their starts, maybe the second or third day after their start, they would always be available in the bullpen.
Double play ball, maybe. 6, 4, 3. And just like that, the inning comes to a close. The Braves move to within 1. Trevor Wilson comes in, throws 1 pitch, and gets 2 outs. We go to the 9th inning now. It's a 1-run game. The Giants lead. High pop, short center field. Nixon is there. 1 away. So they finally get Thompson out. Here's Willie McGee. McGee is struck out, driven a run with a sacrifice fly, bounced to second, reached on an error. Right through there, 0-1. Oh, 2. The Dodgers have activated Alfredo Griffin, sent infielder Greg Smith to Albuquerque. Pirates sent third baseman Jeff King to Buffalo on a rehab assignment. 0-2 to McGee. He went. McGee upset with himself. 2 down. 5 in a row knocked over by Berenguer. Here's Kevin Bass.
He gets a lot of his strikeouts with high fastballs. That pitch looks so inviting. McGee couldn't resist.
Robert Davenport from TBS Properties here at the ballpark tonight. Wants to be remembered to Edward Jackett in the hospital in Keesler, Mississippi. I hope he gets well soon. 2 out here. Bass 2 out of 3 with a walk, a couple of singles. Is that a fine series? Just missed inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Top of the ninth. Giants lead it 7-6. They led 7-2. Braves got 3 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th. Just missed again, 2-0. Matt Williams would be next. Three balls, no strikes. So Berenguer falls behind. He just missed with 2 breaking balls, missed badly with a fastball. Strike call. At the letters, outside edge, 3-1. Juan again goes to work. Chopped up the middle, headed for center field, base hit. Blauser dove, couldn't come up. Wouldn't have had a play in any event. Bass has stolen 1 base this year.
He's now 5 for 7 in this series. His 3rd hit tonight, again just out of the reach of a Braves infielder. Jeff Blauser diving to try to come up with this one.
Just precisely over the bag and into center field. Williams, 2 for 4, a couple of singles. He's scored a run. Nixon robbed him of an extra base hit, crashing into the right center field wall earlier. He's got great power. Bass might be going the way he had to scramble back there. Giants have lost 23 of their last 29 games. But they lead here tonight in the 9th. High pop, that'll end it. Lemke calls for it in short right. Inning over. Berenguer does his job. He keeps them right where they were. 1 hit, no runs, no errors, 1 left. Last chance for the Braves. It's 7-6 Giants. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Justice, Smith, and Bream do up for Atlanta against Trevor Wilson, who seeks his first Major League save. TBS staffer Rafael Ortiz Guzman, a face in the crowd here. And David Justice leads it off. He's 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. Jeff Brantley in the bullpen for the Giants. It's a 1-run game and the Giants lead. Charlie Lee Brandt and Bud Black tomorrow. Pete and Dave O'Brien will have it for you on radio. Ernie Johnson Sr. and Chip Carey will have it for you on Sports Out. Here we go. Steve Rank, good breaking ball, 0-1. Lonnie Smith is on deck. He's quickly in the hole, 0-2. Wilson out of Oregon State University makes his home in Scottsdale, Arizona. Just 24 years old. Fastball tapped weakly toward first. Anderson steps on the bag, 1 away. So Wilson gets the first one. Lonnie Smith is the batter.
All those no-hitters in the major leagues last year. Trevor Wilson almost had one. He got to the 9th inning against San Diego. Mike Pagliarulo spoiled it for him in the 9th.
As Lonnie stands in, Ronnie Gant moves on deck. Fastball away. 1 ball, no strikes. Giants 2 outs away from a win. Pop foul back. 1-1. Braves hopefully 1 swing away from tying the game. At the knees, 1-2. Oh, he's got good stuff. The 1-2. Got him with a fastball at the knees. Well, it's all up to Ronnie Gant.